Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Dorr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and I've got Kevin Chandler in the house. Hi, Kevin.
Hey everyone.
Um, First of all, I want to say thank you to Kevin Chandler for being so supportive during this whole thing. I'll do a
Of course.
little video between now and July the 6th to keep people updated. I got the biopsy results back. It is cancer. But anyway, um, Kevin has been wonderfully supportive when I'm spiraling or need to be talked off a ledge. And trust me, I've needed to be talked off a lot of them lately.
Mm,
Linda
yeah.
Grindle has been amazing. All the psychic community has been wonderful. Sterling, has been supportive. Debbie at Freebird Spirit has been amazing. Kevin Lewis has been amazing. Um, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Oh, Violetta had prayers sent. All of our YouTube audience. I've gotten emails from all over, letters, people calling the office. My family in Kentucky, my sister
Mm,
sent me the most amazing card. It said hope, and she said the best thing that mom and dad did was gave me you, uh,
mm.
and that was so cool. And my brother-in-law, my nephew, my great niece.
So
Um,
much love.
yeah, it's just so much love. So
Mm.
anyway,
Well,
so
I'm about to say really that at the core of healing is just tapping into that love and that intention. So
well, if I miss anybody, I apologize. Becky Gilberto's been wonderful. The people that went to Africa, Becky went with us, but all the other people have been wonderful. And I've got to send all of them each other's emails so we can stay in
mm.
contact. But this, the whole YouTube community has been amazing, and I really appreciate it. So anyway, all right. So we've got questions.
Yes, and just to clarify real quick, we are doing political current event questions. Um, if I can, if I can say something real quick with my channel, Mel, before we do questions.
Go ahead.
So on my Tuesday show, I think I was eight subscribers shy of 8,000 subscribers. Since that show, I think I'm 8,050. Um, so we hit that goal. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please go over and subscribe. Next week, I'll be talking about my contest giveaway. You have to be subscribed to the channel to enter, but I'll get that in the works and explain it on my Tuesday show and in my community page. But I'll be giving away a free Reiki session and a free 30-minute reading for whoever's lucky enough to win that. So thank you all so much for all the love and the support.
And when I get to 20,000 subscribers, everybody subscribe to Kevin. He's wonderful. Thumbs up.
Thank
Thumbs up
you.
on mine. And please
Hmm.
subscribe when I get to 20,000. I'm going to give away 3 free Aloha shirts to people that are members of my channel. Now, members are different than subscribers. So it's just a perk to my members to say thank you. And I'll give away 3 free Aloha shirts, and I'll just pull names for the members. So if you haven't joined yet, I think it's like $9 and something a month. Please join. I'm going to have a 20K party, and
Yeah,
I'm going to invite a lot of readers from the community. And I'll also give away 3 free sessions. So
very cool. I look forward to celebrating that milestone on your channel. And I think it's going to happen here sooner rather than later. You're getting
thank
pretty close, right?
I think, I don't know, 19,000, 2 or
Mm.
300. So I haven't
Yeah,
picked
I'll
a
be here
winner for
before you know it.
19,000 yet, but I will. I just want to wait until I get the surgery over
Mm.
so I can,
Yeah, of
get that
course.
taken care of. I've got the winner's names pulled out. I just will wait till after my surgery.
Okay.
All right. So you got some start for me, huh,
I did
Kevin?
get some start, yes. And if you have a question that's political current event, go ahead and write it in the chat, all caps. Um, we were trying to get slow mo turn on because the chat ends up going a little fast, but I'm gonna do my best to keep up with it.
Yeah,
So,
we'll figure slow-mo out the next time. I just didn't know
mhm.
how to do it. Okay.
Oops,
Oops.
sorry. Go ahead, Mel.
Okay. Pam Furto. Hi, Pam. How will Dems do at next election since many are retiring? Actually, I think it'll help the Dems
Mhm.
because I think that we need to get some fresh blood in there and some new blood. And so I don't think it's going to hurt the Dems at all.
I agree.
Pick up.
I get sorry, were you finished, Mel?
Yeah.
I've been saying for a while, I feel like a bunch of younger, more progressive leadership really kind of stepping up in the next coming terms. So I think it's going to do very well.
That's what I pick up. So, yay. Okay. Let's take a look here. See Mindful. Hi, See Mindful. What do you see coming for Don Jr.? Indictment.
Yeah, I feel like the indictment for him may come early next year, so I'm not feeling it like happening tomorrow. Yeah, he's got a lot of conflict, doesn't he?
Lots. It's funny how that Five of Wands came out,
Yeah,
conflict.
and with that too, I just heard like roadblocks and obstacles.
And I pulled the
Doing
Ace of
great stuff.
Cups too. So,
Mm,
um, I think Ace of Cups to me just means spirit takes its hand in things. I don't know how you interpret it, but spirit will take its hand in things to make sure that uh, at least some accountability and some modicum of justice is done.
yeah.
That's how I interpret it.
Well, and I think for aces are all about, or aces in the tarot are all about new beginnings or the start of something.
Yeah, like in
Cups are
jail.
about like that emotions, so like overflowing of emotions, which can be a good thing, or it can be not a very good thing if you're extremely emotional because your life's going to hell in a handbasket. So I got the judgment card, so there's about to be a big wake up call for him and a lot of judgment coming his way. I feel like he's kind of just sitting back and waiting because I think they all see the writing on the wall for indictments and trouble. So it's kind of like taking that seat back and getting everything planned, and then it's like bam, quick movement. Jack Smith comes riding in on his horse and serving the
I saw a
indictment.
lot of legal papers around him,
Yeah.
meaning trouble legally. I saw like that statue of justice
Okay.
being impartial.
Mhm.
I'll tell you what I see a lot of loss of credibility is for the Supreme Court.
Oh
And
yeah.
I just want to add one thing with that. I know I'm off the topic, but my light bulb went on. My ADD kicks in when I do this.
Mm.
But the Supreme Court ended affirmative action today.
Yeah.
But this will be temporary. My guides have
Mhm.
assured me because at some point there's going to be something once there's new justices that'll come before the court again. And at some point they will reaffirm affirmative action.
I was picking that up too, Mel.
So I just want to ease everybody's mind on that.
Just like Roe v. Wade, I see that only being temporary as well. So
Um, okay. Let's see. Bad Kitty. Oh, good. Tucker Carlson is raising money to start a channel to compete with Fox News after his contract is up. We better not go in there and badmouth them because they'll sue him. And if they
mm,
do, they'll win. But his contract is not up for a while, and they're not going to let him out of it. He might succeed in creating the channel, but I think it's going to go the way of Donald Trump's new channel that Nunez was going to be the head of, and it was supposed to be go so great and it fizzled.
yeah,
Um, he might even announce running for political office, but they're going to expose so many lies he told and how he played to people, um, just to get ratings. It's not going to look good for him.
I agree. I remember when Fox let him go. I did say I did see him either starting a podcast or like a YouTube channel or something. It kind of reminded me of like Joe Rogan and what's his name? Um, I can't think. Alex Jones, kind of like that kind of thing. Um, but I did feel a delay with that too. So I do kind of feel like he will start something after he's able to. But I kept on seeing a lot of lawsuits for him, lawsuits from like the lady at Fox. There was women suing him, but I also felt like maybe even Fox. He's got a lot of legal issues coming ahead for
Well, they're going to sue him privately as well.
him. Absolutely.
And many of them will win. So, I mean, he can be good at raising money, but still, I just don't think his new channel is going to do as well as he thinks it's going to do.
Mm. And I feel like with all the lawsuits, I think a lot of civil lawsuits were. I think he loses his fortune.
He's going to
He's
lose. He's going to lose a
Yep.
lot of money.
Yep. I feel the same.
That's what my guides tell me. Okay. Unique one. I like that. Will the Supreme Court overrule LGBTQ rights? What rights? We don't have any. I mean, they don't even see, they can't overrule something that we don't have. They don't even see us as a minority.
Yeah.
And they kind of did when they ended affirmative action. If you're trying to ask if they'll overrule gay marriage, overturn gay marriage, I think that was codified, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was.
I don't think I don't feel like they'll override gay marriage, but I think that there's a case, and maybe somebody in the chat can correct me because I don't know if I have all the details with it, but there's a case that they're about to kind of show their ruling with, I think probably tomorrow. I think it was a business owner that didn't want to do something with a gay marriage or something along the lines of that. So kind of like we've already kind of heard this before.
Well,
Like I
we've
said,
been
I
through
could
it
be wrong with the
before when they
details.
ruled in favor of, they said that, a business owner can decide to serve who they want. But if they say that, that opens a whole can of worms, because
Yeah.
then a business owner who serves the public could decide not to serve Muslims, Hindus, blacks,
Hmm.
it could go on and on. So, you know, what I see is some of these ultra goofy governors like DeSantis in Florida or Abbott in Texas or somebody, refusing gay marriage.
Hmm.
And then and they'll do that in a way to try to get it all the way up to the Supreme Court. Um,
Okay.
Clarence Thomas has already said that that needs to be revisited. But if that's the case, then they should revisit Loving versus Virginia. But by virtue of
Mhm.
the fact that he said that, that shows already that he's made up his mind.
Right.
Um, so I don't. Well, they'll try to mess with gay marriage, but I don't see them being victorious because there were certain things in gay rights that were codified,
Yeah.
and so. But we don't
I
really have
kind
to.
of feel like in the case that is coming up, feel like they may be kind of sketchy, like and vote no, or by like one vote is what I'm kind of feeling. So, like I said, I'm not sure entirely what the details are, um, but I feel like it's like one vote, one way or another. I feel like it's really close.
Well, I think what's happening is America's getting tired of these, except for, well, for these, conservative, supposedly MAGA
Hmm.
white justices. Well, Clarence Thomas excluded, but he's another ultra conservative.
Right.
I think America's getting tired of them pushing their beliefs down everybody else's throat.
Mm.
And it used to be that people thought the Supreme Court was untouchable, but now people are finding out that it has been tainted, and it's lost a lot of respect in the American public. So the public is going to demand more fair judges, that they have to recuse
Yeah.
themselves for cases where they're friends with these billionaires to take them out on fishing trips. So they think that
Right.
justice will vote the way they want, that the rich millionaires want the laws passed. So I see a lot of accountability coming with the Supreme Court. I really do.
Absolutely.
Um,
And a lot
so
of changes in the next few years, like you're saying. There's rules and regulations, rules where you must recuse yourself if there's a bias there. Um, but also like a lot of changes in the seats too. I feel like I'm feeling like two before Biden's term's up, before 2024 being
so do
replaced.
I. Oh, my light bulb just went on. At some point, we're going to have a gay SCOTUS. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether they're lesbian or gay, but it's going to happen.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
I was just thinking about it the other day. I kind of felt like after Biden gets reelected in 2024, I did feel like Merrick Garland may step down as AG, and I was kind of wondering if they end up putting him in the Supreme Court where he should have went before.
Well, I think he's been effective as an AG. I
Hmm.
do see him stepping down from AG, but somebody else in his place will do phenomenally well.
Yeah, but I
Uh,
felt like his career wasn't over with that. and maybe an opening up at the Supreme Court and they allowing him to go
They
there.
might ask him to be on the court. I don't know if he'd do it,
Yeah.
but I see some justices coming on the court who are younger, who are middle of the road. There'll be a few middle of the roads, a few, I'm moderate, for real moderate. And I see at some point the politics in the court will end. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be unbiased, but they're showing that they're not. So I do think they'll try to mess around with LGBTQ stuff, but I don't see it getting far.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, all right. Happy face. I like that. Aloha, Mel and Kevin. Any thoughts on why there are so many train derailments in the country lately? Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know that one. It's because our infrastructure is crumbling.
that's exactly it. I know a lot of people kind of, you know, is it just a coincidence? But yeah, they haven't really upgraded that infrastructure for a lot of the railroads. Um, I I wasn't feeling a whole lot of like intentionally breaking down trains to cause
No, I don't see
all of
that.
that. I'm not picking that up.
I don't
It
see
just feels like the infrastructure's crumbling. A lot of them, the tracks are just need replaced and updated.
And if we think climate doesn't affect us, think about this one. Here in Chicago, due to those wildfires in Canada, for the
Mm.
past, when we got back from
Oh,
Africa, like on the 7th or the 16th, 17th, I forget, there was like this haze over the city, and it smelled like there
hmm.
was something burning. And the driver said, "Oh, it's the wildfires in Canada," which I hadn't heard about because we had been in Africa for the past 3 or 4 days. You
It's been
step
awful.
outside and it's like smoke. It's like
Hmm.
this heavy haze, but it's
Yep.
smoke. It's not smog, it's smoke. And it smells like burning wood or burning something. And
Sounds
then,
like a chemical smell. I'm dealing with the same stuff here in Cleveland, Mel.
yeah, and there's air warning alerts out.
Hmm.
And so if you think about how far those fires are from Chicago and look at how far that smoke cloud has spread, what does that tell you about environmental change? What does that
Yeah,
tell you about pollutants going into the air, how fast they can spread, and how they affect everybody? I
yeah.
think that's a lesson to all of us that we really need to get this climate change under control.
I
Uh,
agree. It's been awful in the South. It's super hot. And then us up in like the Midwest is dealing with all the smoke. Um, like in the index for like the smoke pollutants, I think yesterday we were at like 256 or something like that. It was a crazy high.
Ours is sky high. They were
Yeah.
like saying being outside for any length of time is like smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. I mean, I have like a heaviness in my lungs just from
Me
I had
too.
running
I'm
around
coughing
to
like
do. So,
crazy.
hmm.
My sinuses are all gunked up.
And unfortunately, I read on it on Tuesday. I did kind of feel like the Canadian fires and fires in general were going to be a bit of an issue going into the summer. I kind of felt a lot of energy around July, um, so I kind of felt like there was going to be a lot of fires and probably a lot of smoke next month. It kind of felt like it was going into the fall time before it really kind of settles down, like October,
Yeah,
November.
I feel bad for the Canadians.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, I think so many train derailments is because the infrastructure is aging and we really need to have our rails fixed. That's the problem.
Hmm.
And deregulation, I think, uh,
Yeah.
um, um, National Transportation Safety Board, with cutting funds and all of that, well, there's going to be more derailments and more chemical spills and things like that. So, what does it take to wake up some of these MAGA people that I just don't get it.
Mm.
They don't care about their constituents. They don't give one hoot. They just
Yeah.
want to keep power. It's frightening. It's frightening how the environment suffers. It's frightening that they don't care one iota about our health. Nothing.
They
All
just
they
care about
want.
their money and the power.
Correct.
All they care
That's
about.
my
I
guide.
did feel like a lot of money being put into, especially for the trains carrying like the chemicals, the hazardous chemicals, like some kind of like upgrade to like the storage system for it. So like if there was a derailment, it's contained. I did see like a lot of money and resources being put into that.
How much you
So
want to bet if there was a train near some of their backyards, they'd change those,
of course,
they'd change the rules in a nanosecond.
absolutely,
And by the way, this American apartheid that's going on with the Supreme Court ruling today and into affirmative action, it's American apartheid.
yeah,
It always gets darkest before the dawn, and it seems like they're pushing back the light, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg says the light will win.
yeah,
And I see that for this American apartheid will go on for the next maybe couple 2 or 3 years, and then I see it ending. Thank God.
mm. And it's really a shame that we need something like affirmative action in there to begin with.
It is ashamed.
It's a shame that we need something like that to help a lot of the minorities that don't have those same kind of opportunities or upbringings to make an even playing field.
I think it's high time that we get over amount of pigment in somebody's skin or lack thereof,
Yeah,
or what their religion is or what language they speak. If they're in America and they're citizens here or they've got immigration cards here, you know what? People have rights,
yeah,
and it's just not about this small class of ultra national conservative MAGA white people.
hmm
I see that ending. Yay.
yeah.
All right. Oh, Sonia Pinola. Hey, Sonia. Will what will Roger Stone go to jail? What do you think, Kevin?
Yes, I feel he will. Absolutely. And I feel like there's energy coming up around him very shortly, maybe a possible indictment shortly. I think he's one of the first, and like one of the first waves with Jack Smith.
Some Republican will say, "Oh, well, we'll pardon him." Oh, well, what does Roger Stone and Donald Trump have in common? They both look good in orange.
Well, you need to have a Republican president to pardon you. So,
That's
and I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Well, if they pardon those people, that's like the middle finger to
Not, not
justice.
happening. I
All
don't
right.
feel that at all.
Oh, I didn't even know this. Oh, I just became aware of this. Adriana B says, "What are Texas
Mm.
and Florida have to do? What what do Texas and Florida have to do to eradicate the malaria that have come up in both states?" Wow, it's
Yeah,
transmitted by mosquitoes. Yeah, we know that, and can be deadly if not caught right away. Wow, I didn't know that they had malaria in
we found
Texas.
a couple cases. I think one state had one, and I think the other one had four.
Well, because what happens is the mosquitoes bite somebody, and then they infect somebody. Then other
Mhm.
mosquitoes bite somebody that's infected, and it just goes down the line.
Yeah,
We had to take anti-malarial meds before we went to Africa. We started 3 days before. We took them all during and 3 days after we got back.
right.
It was a total of like 15 days. But you can't take malaria medicine all the time.
Mm.
So, I don't think they're going to do much of anything right now. I mean, in Florida, we're talking about a state where a governor has allowed them to pave the roads with supposedly mildly radioactive material.
Yeah, and I started a question because I guess that passed today. Not to get off topic, but um,
Well, I think that somebody's going to take it to the courts, and the courts are going to say, "Wait, you can't put that kind of toxic
yeah,
stuff in the environment." So I see it overturned in court.
mm,
But I don't think the Satan is going to try to do too much about malaria, unless, of course, he gets it.
mm. I don't see it becoming because I had heard about the couple cases. I don't see it being like a major malaria outbreak. I'm not picking that up at all. I'm not picking up. I feel like it's going to be handled.
I don't think it's going to be a major outbreak, but I think they'll have enough cases to make things uncomfortable, and people will
Yeah,
demand that something be done. Because if there is a major outbreak, there's not enough anti-malarial medication to go around.
right.
So
But I see it
um,
getting under control at some point.
I think they should make Abbott go out in a field with a lot of mosquitoes and just Satan. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
I
I'll
I
just
heard that he's making workers, construction workers, and everybody work outside with no water breaks. I think he should have to be outside all
I
day.
agree. He should have to be out there working with them with no
Yeah,
water breaks. That's horrible.
absolutely.
That's
That is horrible.
inhumane. But of course, we're talking about a man who rounded up a bunch of immigrants that, he said were illegal on a cold winter's night, shipped them to some place that was freezing, then on short
Yeah.
pants, not even jackets, and dumped them off. So what
Right.
does that tell you about his humanity? Zero.
Well, and not to mention too, when Trump was president in Texas, they had kids in cages. I mean, separating kids from their mothers. I mean, how
Terrible.
yeah,
It's
how
horrible.
heartless do you have to be?
Anyway, okay. Is the train derailment in Yellowstone a few days ago going to cause pollution problems? They say no, but I wonder. Well, my
Okay.
response to that is look at the Canadian thing. So when they
Mm,
say no, I have big question marks about it. So I do think it'll cause some pollution problems, yes. Will they tell us about it? At some point it'll leak, no pun intended. But any derailment like that, that stuff goes in
mhm.
the atmosphere and it's bound to cause some issues.
Yeah, I feel like some pollution. Was it a chemical spill? Because I wasn't picking up anything like that. I hadn't heard of the train derailment by Yellowstone. Chemicals in the river. Thank you.
I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't feel like it's like I'm like a couple hours from that East Palestine in Ohio where they had that massive chemical and it was a nightmare. I'm not picking up the same kind of energy with it.
no, I don't think it was that drastic, but still.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Donna Jackson, Mel, I've been praying for you. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that. Do you think the Dems will win the House and Senate? With I do think that Dems will take back over the House and keep the Senate. That's what my guides tell me.
Yeah. I feel so many I definitely feel the House, the Senate is a really tough map for Democrats, but I feel so much progress and things getting done in the next couple of years. I don't see how that would be possible if they lost it. So I do feel like they're going to do well as well. I think, like, as I said before, the Republican Party is going to fracture and kind of implode. You're going to have two sides of the Republican Party kind of fighting amongst each other. Some are going to vote, some aren't going to vote, or they'll vote against each other. So I see it working out good for Democrats because of that. People have had enough with all the craziness and the hatefulness.
I agree. I think all this shenanigans and the BS that the MAGAs like Marjorie Taylor Greene is pulling and so holding onto the big lie and all that stuff. She just wants to pick on people.
Hmm.
She wants to get them to elicit a response, and she doesn't care what they have to say. She's just going to use it to attack. But I think people are going to get tired of it, and they're going to say, "We want these elected officials to govern." And
Yeah,
so, but you've been saying all along, Kevin, that the Republican Party would splinter and implode, and
we've been kind of seeing the starts of that for a while, but
absolutely.
when when the indictments start falling and everybody starts turning on each other, it's gonna get really ugly here soon.
Well, I think behind the scenes, there's some moderate Republicans that don't like what's going on in the party, and will
Yeah,
talk about it behind the scenes, but publicly, I think they don't. They're still afraid to say something.
yeah,
But
they
I
don't have
see
the courage.
I see many of them growing a set and coming out and saying, "Wait a minute, we've had it." I mean, had
Mm.
a Democrat done what Santos had done, they would have gotten the Republicans and the Independents would have gotten rid of that person immediately, as
Yeah,
they should have.
absolutely.
But they still let DeSantos hang out in there.
Hmm.
Um,
It's crazy.
it's
Well,
the
they have such a slim majority; they're not
correct,
looking
but it's
to
the double
lose any seats.
standards.
And I do see Santos' seat getting flipped to a Democrat in a special election.
Oh, I do too. And I see Santos going to jail, and I
Hmm.
see him at some point extradited to Brazil.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree with that.
Mel and Kevin, could Sergei Sobyanin, Moscow mayor, be interim president for Russia?
I'm feeling a no with that. I don't
Oh,
know who that is, but it's not
I'm not picking
resonating.
up that. I think that I think that I'll tell you who I see out of jail at some point is Navalny.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna. I don't know if he'll be president, but he'll be a strong force in getting a Democratic president elected. And in Russia. And I also see at some point term limits, where they could like
yeah,
kind of here a president can only run for 2 terms. And I think they'll do that in Russia too.
yeah.
And I think
I'm
they'll
not.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
I was going to say, I think that they'll also set into motion ways so that the parliament, because the way it works, I think, is people vote for the parliament and then the parliament elects the leader. But I think they'll set up ways where to prevent the parliament from putting in a dictator again. I see
Mm.
checks and balances being put into their constitution.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said I felt like Russia would eventually be able to turn things around. I've been saying like a revolution or an uprising. I mean, we just had that group kind of you know, invade, and I feel like that's just the beginning. I definitely feel a lot more turmoil in Russia, and like I said, I've always kind of got like that uprising, revolution kind of vibe for Russia. I feel after Putin's gone, I do feel like there's an interim president for maybe a couple years, and I was picking up maybe somebody from like the military, a military leader, but then I felt like there was actually going to be like a good president that was voted in, and like a lot of positive changes.
That's what I see. I still see more uprisings against Putin, and that guy that did that uprising, he's not done yet. He went public with it because he knew they'd try to push him out a first floor window and say, "Phil." Um,
Right.
but I also see a lot of people protesting in Belarus. So Lukashenko better watch his rear end, because my guides tell me that both Russia and Belarus, there's going to be people, massive, a lot of people protesting. And at some point, Putin gone and Lukashenko gone as well.
Hmm.
And, Ukraine's not going to give up. Putin is running out of money. And, it's really hurting the economy in Russia, what I see anyway. And
Absolutely.
Ukraine's not going to give up. And I see them getting, I've always saw this, that I've always seen this, that they're going to get some really modern aircraft to
Hmm.
help, push Putin back. So,
Absolutely, I agree with all of that. And I really feel like I've said for a while, like the summer months really being pivotal with the counteroffensive. Um, I think, if anything, that mercenary group kind of going through Russia really just showed how weak Putin really is. He's a lot of bravado. Not to say that he's not dangerous, they don't have nukes, but because he's pretty scary. But yeah, they don't have the resources anymore, and the people have kind of had it with him, just letting them go through. But I felt like he would be after that leader because he's so mad that he was made to look so weak. I mean, that's probably like the worst thing that you could do to Putin is make him look weak.
I
So
know.
there's a lot of anger there for sure.
All right. Question about the airline snafu delays and cancellations. How do you see it playing out in the next few days?
Mm,
Well, I talked to an insider from a certain domestic airline this morning.
yeah.
He or she said that a lot of times with these delays are blaming it on flight crews, but that's just not true.
Oh, what are they saying?
Um, well, a lot of it is because, they don't have enough personnel. A lot of it is because I think some of it's price gouging, but
Hmm.
uh, I think, some of it, what they're doing with employees is horrible, because they'll say to the employee, well, if you're delayed for so long, you can try to find your own place to stay. The problem is, with all the flight delays, passengers are having to take up those hotel rooms, and a lot of the people that work for the airlines have no place to stay.
Oh.
And so what a lot of them are doing is just staying at the airport, and then if you go into illegal overtime, then they can just say, okay, we're in illegal overtime, we're done.
Mm.
So it's really the a lot of it is the airlines and the way they treat their employees, and they're blaming flight crews, and it's not the flight crews' fault, it's the airlines.
I do feel like there is some like the pilot, like a shortage in flight crew and pilots too. But not to say that that's not the case as well, Mel, because that definitely resonates. But I do kind of feel like the airline, um, around the holidays especially, it's going to be a bit messy for a little while.
Well, I think that what's going to happen is the government's going to step in and say, look, you're going to be fined for all of
Yeah.
these snafus and delays, and you can't do it anymore. I think what happened was one of the airlines here, they had like 19 or 20% cancellation because supposedly weather in New Jersey, which had affected other flights, and I get all that.
Hmm.
But there's always weather somewhere.
Yeah.
But I clearly think a lot of this is the airline's fault.
Absolutely. Or even just overbooking a lot of the flights too. You
Bingo.
know. Yes,
That'll change.
I agree.
So, but I do see it getting better because the people are going to be the outcry, even with the employees, are going to say, "Wait a minute, we're tired of being the scapegoat here." And
Mm.
there's going to be people in the airlines, all of them, that are going to come forward and blow the whistle and say what really is happening.
Yeah.
All right, that's what my guides show me. Okay, TR. Hi, TR. Federal prosecutors are prepared to seek indictments against multiple figures in former President Donald Trump's orbit and may yet bring additional charges against the ex-president in the coming weeks. I don't know if that's a statement or if that's a question.
I think it's a question, but
The
I
question,
said
Nancy, go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry.
since Jack Smith indicted Trump on the documents, I felt like there were more documents charges coming
Oh,
from
there
Jack
are.
Smith. Yep, absolutely. I do feel energy around. I heard on the news today. I don't know if this is in regards to this question, but talking to people like in New Jersey, and then even Jack Smith going to Georgia. I feel like he's very busy, and there's definitely a lot more indictments coming over the summer.
I pull the Ace of Hearts, which means they're making deals with people behind the scenes, Jack Smith, to say, you work with us
Mm.
and we're not going to charge you with X, Y, and Z. We might only charge you with X. And so there's going to be people, I don't know if I'd call them whistleblowers, but people that are going to come forward that the DOJ and Jackson, they'll strike a deal with them for them to testify. And there's a lot more indictments coming. I keep feeling, Linda Grindle and you and I have been saying this,
Mhm.
Kevin, that there's something big coming. It's going to make
Oh yeah,
Madison Helens look like a firecracker, and it's coming soon.
yeah. I think something in September, like massive, but I do feel like there's more indictments throughout the summer.
There's something massive coming. Okay. Crazy Shark. Hi, Crazy Shark. I love the name. Hi, Crazy Shark. Hi, Kevin and Mel. Do you ever see ESF? I don't know what, I'm sorry, I don't know what ESG funds
I
are.
don't either.
Investments getting more popular than they are today. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what ESG funds are.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I heard. Yes,
I hear
um,
yes, but I don't
but
know.
I'm not sure what it is too to be able to really kind of talk about it.
But I hear a yes as well. Okay. All right. Well, this one's not really political, but Robin Lisa Rosenberg. Will Kimberly, however say her last name,
Go
marry
foil,
Don Jr.?
gargoyle.
Not. Nolan Kevin, thank you. Prayers for Mel. Thank you, Robin. If they do get married, it won't last.
I kind of feel like it won't even get to that point.
I don't think so. Because I don't see, my guides are not showing me a long-term future for the two of them together.
I agree.
So that's okay.
I heard no. I didn't feel that they'd actually end up getting married. So
Okay. Joel Tilson, will Putin sue for peace because of Prigozhin?
no.
No. Prigozhin's
Or-
not going to stop, by the way.
He's in hiding right now. But I did feel like that group there was more drama with Russia and them. Or there's
But
more
as
drama with some kind of
Prigozhin is
group.
in hiding, just like when Lenin was in exile, Lenin planned the whole revolution in exile in France to overturn the Tsar when they had the
Mm,
Bolshevik Revolution. So
yeah,
he's in hiding, yes, but guess what? He's still planning things while he's in hiding, and
I
he's not
agree.
gonna shut up. He's going to keep talking and talking, and Putin right now is doo-dooing in his pants.
Mm,
I see Putin isolating himself more and more and more.
yeah. And he's been extremely paranoid, but it's just like he's not even in reality anymore. Is the way I'm kind of feeling it.
Sunny Valeria or Valeria What will happen with Comer and all his lies with Hunter Biden?
That's good.
I see those lies being exposed.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's any traction with the lies, and I just heard too like they need to be careful with with what they're doing because I feel like if Hunter Biden hasn't filed a lawsuit already, he very well might. I don't. I'm not picking up like jail or anything like that for him. Um, but I kind of just feel like shame and ruin with his career is what I'm picking up.
When you said that, I had a scene from Game of Thrones when
Oh,
she's
the
walking
shame.
down their stairs. Shame,
Yeah.
shame. My psychic light bulb. So Comer's going to have to do the walk of shame.
Well, hopefully he's not naked because nobody wants to see that.
Oh, don't nauseate me. I pulled a jack of diamonds, which means it's a sign of good news for Hunter Biden. The
Mm,
lies will be exposed.
yeah, I agree. I think Comer's gonna sit in a seat for a little while though, but I do feel eventually it's like I said, like the shame and ruin end of his political career.
Okay, Christine Vermel. Hi, Christine. Christine came with us to Croatia last summer.
Oh,
So
cool.
almost around this time, we were in Croatia. Uh, Hi, Mel and Kevin. I'm continuing to pray for you, Mel. Thanks, Christine. Christine
Mm.
is just a nice, nice lady. She was a treat to have on the trip. She says, I know everything will be fine. Thanks, Christine. What do you see happening to Roger Stone?
Yeah,
That's what I see
he's
happening.
playing with the handcuffs.
It reminds me of of Chicago, the keeper of the clink.
Uh huh.
When you're good to mama. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. He's trapped because of his involvement with everything. And I don't feel like he could even get out of it. You know, I think somebody wrote, and not to get off topics, that Rudy talked to Jack Smith voluntarily, but I almost felt like a lot of even if he tries to talk to Jack Smith, I feel like they already kind of have a lot of the information there, and that they're not the most um, reputable witnesses to give. Like they're not in reality, so I don't feel like it's going to serve them. Roger Roger Stone and Rudy Giuliani because I feel like both of them I feel jail time.
Agreed. I agree with that. All right. JR, how does Ivanka escape prison time?
Mm.
Ooh, I got the answer to that one.
Well, I think she flips, but I also had seen before when I read on it, she really gives up a lot. But I saw an ankle bracelet on her, like an ankle monitor. So I feel like she may get house arrest and be able to work some kind of deal out like that.
I see her returning a lot of secrets that were given away and things that she knew that they were
Hmm.
doing. But it's funny. My guide showed me a canary, the proverbial canary, and the canary singing. So the answer is she sings like a canary.
Yeah, I feel like she's already been cooperating.
um, I think so too.
Hmm.
All right. Sonia Pinola, did you see Jack and team went to Georgia to talk to them about election stuff? GOP will need bigger diapers for the town for the entertainment. Um, I do think he went there to talk about election things. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Raffensperger was called in to testify.
Well,
You know, go ahead.
and his probe is kind of similar in what Letitia James or not Fonnie Willis is kind of, and they kind of commingle, and I do feel like they have talked and shared stuff. But yeah, I mean there was election interference there, and it kind of goes with the whole January 6th
Well, Raffensperger's
thing.
working with them, and Raffensperger is
Yeah,
a conservative Republican. But there's one thing about Raffensperger. I don't like his politics. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong. But it's okay not to like somebody's politics, but the man at least has honesty and dignity. I disagree with him politically, But I got a funny feeling that at some point Raffensperger is going to run for political office. I don't know if it's in Georgia or somewhere else, and might win. But at least, he's a conservative, but he's not MAGA or MAGA, however you say it. And I'm not saying I agree with him, but what I am saying is that he did cooperate, and because conservative or liberal or middle of the road, that election in Georgia was fair. It was not stolen from Trump. It was not.
Yeah, I agree. Before we get to the next question, can I just give a shout out to some of the super chats that we've gotten?
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm just going to go through the list in here. Artist, thank you. And we have your question. Rebecca, Mara, Michelle just done a generous donation. Thank you all so much. We all really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for those donations. Here's what I'm going to do. There's a place in Uganda called Ride for Women. And what that is it was started by a husband and wife, and it takes women from the villages who would have no other way to learn skills, and they take them to this center, and they teach them sewing, they teach them basket weaving, they teach them all kinds of skills that they can learn and start their own businesses. And it's a place for women who are abused and who need to have skills. And we visited there, and it was absolutely incredible what they were doing. And it also helps the children. Gary and I sponsored a little boy for an entire year. We donated $500. The little boy's name was Jethro, and he's the top in his class. He's 6 years old. They sent me a picture, and he wants to be a doctor. Oh, and cool. When I donated the money, they said, does it matter if it's a boy or girl? I said, I don't care who you donated to, just help a kid.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that I have cancer, and then they didn't even know that. And then there's this little boy that we help sponsor who wants to be a doctor. I found that incredible. So all the money will be donated to Right for Women in Uganda. And what I'll do is I'll use that money and I'll send it to them, and I'll ask them to use it to sponsor a child. And, sponsoring the child means to get them through school, to help with, their school supplies and all of that stuff. So that's what the money is going to go for.
Awesome. And we just got another one from Henry Naylor. Thank you so much for the super sticker.
I'll show you real fast if I can find it. The Center for Women. It was amazing. We were there on the last day, and they performed for us. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Here's me out there shaking it. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I just love all the energy. Like, you can just feel it through the video.
It was amazing, and it was just a wonderful place, and so that's where the money's going to go.
Yeah.
So thank everybody for the donations. I'm sorry that I'm not looking at you. So here's what happens when Kevin and I do a show. One of us watches the comments and one of us stars your questions. And when the questions are starred, I'm looking at those, so I can't see the comments. So Kevin's watching the comments and he's looking at the people that are donating. So that's why.
Right. And vice versa. If I feel like I'm not in it, or if I'm trying to keep up with the chat and everything too.
So right. So when I'm on Kevin's show, I'm looking at the chat and starting questions, and we couldn't figure out how to slow it down. Okay, so all right. Sylvia Munoz. Hi guys. Question. What's next for Hunter Biden? Not a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he's got I think he got probation for those tax violations. That I did feel like there was some kind of financial trouble, but nothing really serious. And as I've said, the congressional investigations into Hunter Biden are a joke, and I don't.
It's a waste of money. You know, here's the thing that gets me. They get Hunter Biden for that, but they don't do anything to Trump, who
Hmm.
falsely inflated his businesses and stuff like that. And
I
so
mean, his son-in-law got $2 billion from the Saudis. Where's the outrage over that?
correct. And at some point, the IRS is going to look into all that too.
Oh yeah, Kushner's going to be in trouble for that.
Absolutely. Okay. You know, it's okay for the MAGAs to do it to everybody else, but when somebody starts looking at them for the stuff they've done, they scream foul play.
Hmm.
Okay, Kathy Reagan's. Hi, Kathy. Hello, Mel and Kevin. Do you see the power grid in Texas holding up with this extreme heat?
Mm.
I will pray that it does, because
Yeah,
I don't want to see people succumb to heat prostration or I'm sorry, prostration. Is it no
yeah.
prostation? I think, however you say it.
I don't feel like a total collapse in the energy grid, but I do feel like there is some spotty areas that will be having some power issues.
Well, I do think it's not a full collapse, but a partial one.
Yeah.
And hopefully it goes out in Abbott's house where he lives.
Mm. We've been talking about the grid I've definitely had that concern there since that one winter where there were people that were
Oh, I'm
dying from
telling
cold
you,
freezing.
it's
Yeah,
it's it's, it's being taxed to the max,
yeah.
but I do see a partial failure. But I wasn't being facetious. I do think it's going to affect the governor's mansion.
Oh,
How karmic is that?
right.
And you know what? Maybe they'll cut off the water supply too.
Mm.
I was being cocky.
Yeah. No water break for you, Abbott.
No water break,
You
Abbott.
have to stay outside and no AC for you either.
Okay. Aggravated Progressive says, good news, thanks. Okay, I don't know what the good news was about, but whatever it was. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I don't, you know what? I don't know how to answer this one because I haven't been looking at it. Lots
Mm.
of officials news confirming info from the whistleblowers about UFO secrets, but not mainstream news. Well, I think they changed it from UFO to something about unauthorized or unknown flying crap, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of that doesn't necessarily mean it's from aliens from another planet. I just think that it's just some kind of something in the sky that was flying and they didn't know what it was.
Mm.
So I think that the mainstream media is going to stay away from that one for a while.
I have seen them post some videos that they've released and stuff, but it's not really highlighted. I do feel like going into the future there is more highlighting on everything coming out, but yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't feel like it's anything like really major for a while.
Okay. Artist. Oh, thanks, artist. Do you guys see when there will be a woman president and will she be a Democrat?
Yes and yes. I do.
Well,
I felt like Kamala would be taking over for Biden in the second term. I saw Kamala taking over when he picked her as his VP. I felt like she would be the first woman president.
I
Maybe
see a
not
woman,
elected president, but first woman president.
I see a woman president. I just don't know who. And I do think it will be somebody who is a Democrat.
Hmm.
It's not going to be Lauren Boebert, that's for sure,
Right?
or Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's
No.
not, somebody's going to say they'll have her as for a vice president. That's worse than Sarah Palin, because as far as
Mm,
I'm concerned, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think Sarah Palin is a genius when you compare her to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
mm,
But I don't think Sarah Palin's a genius. She ain't the
no.
brightest crane on the porch. I'm sorry, she ain't
Right.
the brightest bulb on the porch. But when you compare her intellect to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Sarah Palin's got Marjorie Taylor Greene beat, I think.
I don't know there, Mel. I think that's pretty close. And you really think about, the crazy wackadoodles in the Republican Party. She was one of the first to start this whole crazy MAGA movement. So I
I
don't
know.
know. I don't give her that much credit either. So I think their IQs are maybe it's like an IQ point or two higher, but
Well,
they're
she
pretty
thought
close.
she thought Africa was a country. Come on.
Mm.
I can see Russia from here.
Right.
Oh my God. Kathy Reagan's Mel and Kevin, do you see ethics laws in Supreme Court? Well, right
Yeah.
now that's an oxymoron.
We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Oxymoron's like a jumbo shrimp or an honest politician. All righty. Joel
Um,
Tilson, VP Harris will be president in Biden's second term. I guess that's a statement from Joel. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Sylvia Munoz, IRS whistleblower Gary Shepley claiming that DOJ and Joe Biden interference into Hunter's investigation. What do you
No,
see? I don't see that at all.
I don't
I
see
think
that
that's
at
a
all.
lie. Okay. Robin
No,
Lisa Noel, Obama on SCOTUS.
not
Oh, I'm
feeling
sure he's really angry.
it. Hmm? Oh, I think well, are you asking, is he going to be on the SCOTUS? Because I know a lot of people have
No,
said
I don't
that
see him.
before.
I
I
no,
don't see him being interested in that at
I don't.
all. It's
I don't see
very
him on the
happy.
Supreme Court. No. Oh, I thought she meant his opinion on SCOTUS.
But
No,
you
he's
know
not.
what? He rarely gives his opinion anymore on a lot of stuff. And he did. I think him and Michelle both did make a statement over the affirmative action. So yeah,
He's not going to be.
obviously they're not happy about it.
He's not going to be on SCOTUS.
No, I don't think so either. He's done with politics.
Cheryl Ward, Jim Jordan's future, especially with a sexual case in Ohio. It ain't pretty, and my guides are telling me that sexual case will go against him.
No, okay, that's definitely good to know. I feel like a lot of heavy investigations, and I do feel like he may get some jail time. I see him out one way or another, but um, he's not one I get it for sure. Like, yes, I see him behind bars, but I definitely think it's a strong possibility.
I agree. Okay, Becky Gilberto. Hi, Becky. Becky came to Africa with us,
Mm,
and Becky had just had a knee replacement not long before that. She celebrated her birthday, and it was a
oh, nice.
wonderful birthday. Great birthday song that they did for Becky. But I have to say, when people say they can't do something, I want to tell you something. Becky did that gorilla hike like there was no tomorrow. I had
I
two. I had two porters, one pushing and one pulling,
love that.
and Becky outshined me. And she did really well on the chimp trek too. So you know what, Becky, you were an inspiration.
Mm. I
And
did a
Becky,
reading for Becky, and
Be-
I think she was asking about the trip, and I felt like she was going to be just
Becky
fine.
was an inspiration also because at the airport, she gave me a lot of support
Yeah.
about, she's a cancer survivor.
Mm.
And she gave me the most wonderful book that I'm holding on to. And Becky, I'm taking that book to the hospital with me. So, all the people on the trip have been wonderful. So Becky asked, did Canada not get enough moisture this past year? Is this an unusual amount of fires? It's an absolute, I
Yeah.
think, unusual amount of fires for
Yeah.
Canada. Yeah. So
You
what do you,
know, I agree. And even too, like the winter, we got snow at some points, but I think for the most part it was very mild. Um, for us, I'm sure more northern Canada, they probably got a lot of moisture through the winter time. But my guides had told me like the fires were going to spread more and more east, not just like the west, but like even get into like the middle. Um, and I guess we're seeing that in Canada too, affecting both areas.
well, I see Canada getting more rain next year, a lot more,
Yeah.
which is going to help curb those forest fires. Okay, Kimberly Avery. How will Jim Jordan look in orange jumpsuit? Asking is an unfortunate constituent. Well, I think he might not look so bad if you bling it up a little bit. Okay, sweetie darling Lulu. Hey,
Mm.
sweetie darling Lulu. Did Rudy flip? Not yet.
I don't think so either.
I
I
don't know if
I
he's
read on I think I touched up on it on my Tuesday show. I think that was the day that they announced, and then they said that he voluntarily went down there. But I think that Rudy's still living in his delusional world of, well, I had this evidence, and I think that he was somewhat cooperative, but yeah, he just doesn't live in reality to be a good witness, a good credible witness.
I love
I
when he
don't
was
feel like he flipped though,
no, not
not
yet.
yet.
I said not yet. We both said at the same time. I love it when he was sweating hair dye, remember? Like, all righty then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Ness, what do you see about Madonna's health? She had a health scare this weekend. I don't know. I didn't know. I just don't know.
She had a really severe blood infection, and I guess I think she was found unresponsive, and had to be incubated. But from what I hear, she's recovering now and doing a lot better. But um, I just read on her too, um, and I felt like there was a lot physically healing going on, but also like emotionally, mentally too. I feel like she's having a bit of a hard time with a lot of stuff right now, but I did feel like it's only temporary. I feel like more opportunities in the future for her to shine again. Um,
I think she'll make a full recovery. That's what I'll
yeah,
say.
I do too.
Leah, hi Kevin and Mel. Thank you so much. Will the Wagner leader be taken out while on Belarus? I don't. Oh,
Well, in Belarus.
in Belarus. I don't think so. I don't feel it.
No, I feel like he may eventually, though. I definitely feel like caution around it, but I don't feel like it's just yet. I feel like
Not
there's
yet.
still some time.
Okay, so Becky gave us $10. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Mara gave us $9.99. Thank you. Um, okay. We got time for a few more.
Yeah.
Wendy Clark, Putin was seen in 3 different places at the same time on state-run TV. Are the people going to see how they are being lied to by his lookalikes?
I've been saying it for a while. There's definitely
Either that or they pre-recorded him in certain places and just kind of put it all up.
mm,
But the Russian people are becoming wise to his lies. Absolutely. I mean,
mm,
it's kind of like here. Trump's little base will be Trump's little base. Putin's little base will be Putin's little base. But
right.
the people at large in Russia are going to be like, no, we're tired of this dictator.
I do feel like there are some body doubles. I've always said I
Oh,
feel
I
like
do too. Absolutely.
he's struggling a lot more than what he's letting on with his health.
Michelle Hott says, Mel,
Mm.
you've been in my daily prayers. Much love. I'll see you in September. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
nice.
Thank you. 49.99. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, this is a good one, Kevin. TR, what do you see for Florida regarding the permitless gun carry? Time frame,
Mm.
will it be overturned?
Eventually, it's going to be a while, though.
It'll be overturned, I think, within the next 2 years.
That's what came to me, like 3 years.
This is
It'll be
another
after DeSantis is gone, though.
this is another good one. Will the Republicans succeed in expunging Trumpy's impeachments? They can try, but once impeached. I
I
think
don't know how they do it. I feel like I get energy around it, like maybe they will remove the records for like the impeachment, like their where they write down everything, like those kind of records. But I don't think that there's a way for them to actually reverse that he's been impeached. I kind of feel like yes and no. I don't know. It's kind of hard to
well, if
explain.
they try to expunge it from the record, and if they succeed at some point, it'll be added back to the record because
Okay.
somebody will keep a record of it. I don't think they're going to be as successful as they think they are, specifically with Margie Taylor Greene talking about impeaching Biden for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Aries Wanderer.
Thank you, Aries Wanderer. Henry Naylor, $3. Thank you. And then another $10. Oh, what happening at Skinwalker Ranch? I don't know. I haven't been watching. I don't. Are you familiar with that,
I
Kevin?
don't follow with it. I know that there's a lot of ET activity there, and like an energy portal there as well. So they get a lot of phenomenon. You know what though? I've heard I do feel like that place is a little bit more active now than what it normally is. It feels like I'm feeling like a lot of vibration around the area. So it feels like a lot of activity, um, but yeah, I'm not. I don't really follow a lot of that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Aries Wanderer. I can't pull any more starred questions up. Did we go through all of them?
I stopped at some point because we had so many and we've been on for about an hour. So
Okay. Do we have time for just 2 more, maybe?
sure, send your questions if we missed it.
Uh, I don't know. I'm not looking at the chat, so
Yeah, we're already at the end of the chat. So
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you so much, Thomas James, for your super sticker.
Oh, Thomas James, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, something flashed up, but it went off. What was it about a nudist colony?
Yeah.
What did it say?
I was trying to pull up Thomas's super chat, but Wayne says I want to start a nudist colony and call it Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, I love that. I think you should go for it.
Yeah.
Just don't invite Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh God, nobody wants to see that.
Oh, please, that's my worst nightmare. The fashion queen. That was funny. We needed a good laugh.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Jessica, Jessica asked, "Do we see any hurricanes hitting Miami this year?"
I do see hurricanes hitting from the Gulf Coast,
I
and
feel on the East Coast
a
too.
milder one coming up through the Caribbean hitting Miami. But I think the Gulf Coast is going to take a beating.
Yeah, I do feel like there's some activity under like the Atlantic side, southern Atlantic side of Florida. Absolutely, Jessica.
Let me just check something. When is the 4th? That's on Tuesday. Um, Kevin, yeah, I'll be having surgery next Thursday, the 6th.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do something Sunday evening. Let me know. We'll let you all know because I'd like to do one more with Kevin before I go into the hospital.
I was going to ask if you want. I know that you do a show with Linda on Monday, but maybe if you're free sometime in the evening. Monday is pretty much the only day I have off before Thursday that I think I could do.
Well,
If you don't mind
Monday,
reading two politics shows and you're able to.
I'll ask Linda if maybe we could. Well, Tuesday's the 4th, but Monday, I'm going to be, I can probably do Monday evening. The answer is
Mm,
yes, but right
okay.
around 7 o'clock. And I'm going to ask Linda if maybe she and I can do Monday because Monday evening, because
Mm,
all day Monday, I've got like doctor's appointments, but
okay.
maybe I could work with Linda about doing it around 4 or 5, and you and I could do one around 7ish.
Sure. If we're able to, if not, we'll get something started as soon as you're able to.
Well, I'd like to get a few in before I go to the hospital. Make me feel better.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, Mel.
All right, Kevin. Thank you so much for your support.
Of course.
Thanks to everybody out there. Special hello to my family in Kentucky, my sister, my brother-in-law, my nephew, and he's in Florida. Poor thing.
Mm, yeah, it's tough
Um,
living there now, isn't it?
my great niece, my great great niece, they've been wonderful. So, my great niece had a doctor friend of hers call me, and I thought that was so sweet.
Oh, nice.
So, anyway, thank you all for the donations. All that money will be donated to Ride for Women in Uganda. It's really neat. Look it up. RIDE, the number 4 women. Ride for Women. It's really neat. So, Kevin, let's tentatively plan Monday. And
Sounds good.
all righty.
All right, everyone. Real quick, make sure to go over to my channel and subscribe if you haven't. Probably I won't be on Tuesday on my usual day, but I was thinking either Monday or Wednesday I'll do my show, and I'll start talking about the giveaway. So make sure you subscribe. I'll be giving away a free Reiki session and a free reading to two lucky people. So
And I'm going to give away 3 free Aloha shirts to my members, the people that have joined my channel. Um, when I get to 20,000, and then 3 free half-hour readings to anybody, subscribers and members alike. I'm going to start doing perks for my members, like
yeah,
maybe I'll do like a live show where they can just ask questions, and we won't even air it publicly. We'll just, I don't know. I'll figure it out.
yeah. I'm not currently doing a members, but I was doing members lives with a group of my members, and it's always fun. To able to do like an extra video a week and really, it almost becomes like a family unit. It's
That's
the
what
energy is really nice.
I think that's what I'm going to start doing. Okay, so Kevin, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Send me an email, kevinlovingvibrations@gmail.com. You can text me 440-376-4088. I do respond to emails quicker because I don't always check my work phone. So that's the quickest way to get a hold of me. And as I said, I offer Reiki, energy healing, and readings. So,
And I'm www.meldor.com, or call my office 847-590-5411. Go to Kevin's channel, thumbs up, subscribe. We got to get those numbers
thank
up for
you.
Kevin, and thumbs up on mine and subscribe. So thanks, everybody.
Mm,
Kevin, we'll talk on Monday.
sounds good.
Uh,
It's
and
always
good
fun.
night, everybody.